Finding middle ground, helping others understand each other. You see what I did? This middle ground, it's like an island in the middle of, okay, anyway. So what does finding middle ground mean? It means helping people in conflict to come to an agreement that works for everybody. So if you're trying to figure out what that means, just look at the picture, right? It's two people shaking hands. It's people coming together in the middle to come to some sort of agreement, right? And so finding middle ground is helping these two people that are in conflict, right, that have a problem with each other or maybe are in disagreement. It's helping them come to the middle and come to an agreement that works for both of them or for everybody if it's a larger group, right? Again, that often means compromise. It does not necessarily mean that everybody gets everything they want, but finding middle ground is finding that middle place where both sides can get something that they want a little bit and can work together and move on from there. Right? Usually this is sort of a leadership thing when I'm talking about being on the outside of the conflict and coming in and helping people see eye to eye and bringing them together. But sometimes you can find middle ground by being on one or the other side of the conflict and really pushing yourself to kind of seek the perspective of the people on the other side and coming up with a compromise that could work for you both so that you can move on together. All right? So why is this important? It's leadership. So leading a group means helping people get along when they don't all agree with each other. Right? There is no relatively large group, well, not even a large group. The group of people will always come together with different experiences and different perspectives. Even if overall they're working on the same thing, like each other, and want to achieve the same goal, there will come times when they don't all agree. That's actually a very good thing. It's kind of the reason seeking new perspectives is important. We don't want to agree all the time. We don't always want to have the same perspective, because if that's the case, it means we're probably not using everybody's skills and experiences. Probably means we're missing something, right? So in a group that's trying to achieve something, it's important that every once in a while we have some disagreement because we are bringing different perspectives and skills to the table, and we need to figure it out. So being a strong leader means being able to have those moments when we're in disagreement and finding that middle ground, that area where we can agree and move on and push towards the same goal, right? It's like the symphony here. Right? There's a conductor who is leading and helping everyone find middle ground. There's people bringing in all these different instruments, different ways of looking at it, different skill sets by these instruments. This person in the middle is bringing them together to work towards the same goal, which is playing this music together. They're not all playing the same thing. They're not playing the same melody. They're not playing the same instrument even. This is just like how teams work together. We bring different skills. We're not all going to do the same thing. We don't all have to think the same. And in fact, we shouldn't all think exactly the same. But we need to figure out how our skills can come together in the middle and push towards the same thing. This is what leadership is. This is what finding middle ground really means. So if you want to have a successful group, if you want to be a leader within that group, there's some things that you can do. Now, I want to be really clear. Finding middle ground is one of the sort of later habits that you're introduced to, because you need to have developed some of the other leadership habits to really be able to do this right. If you are not already self-reflective, if you are not already able to listen to understand, seek new perspectives, to speak to be heard, finding middle ground is going to be very difficult. So I want to be really clear with that. This isn't something you just jump into. However, once you are ready for that, once you've sort of mastered, or not mastered, but made a habit of some of the other leadership habits, here are some things you can do. So one step is figuring out what everybody needs and wants. That's listening to understand, right? Figuring out what both sides are really trying to get, what they really want, what their main disagreement is, and understanding that. That's the first step. Second step then is helping everybody understand each other's needs and wants. Right? So once you've listened to understand the two sides, now you're going to speak to be heard and make sure that people understand the value of what the other people are bringing, the fact that it's not personal, that there are some really valid arguments on either side, and that, you know, people are trying to do the right thing, bringing the people together. And then finally, it's finding a compromise that gets both sides what they need or want. And what I mean by that is not that everybody gets exactly what they want, not everybody gets everything they want, but that they get enough of what they need or want, that they feel okay about moving forward, working together, and going beyond to something else, right? That's the key part of finding middle ground, is again, is not making everybody 100% happy and giving them everything they want. If we do that, that's not finding middle ground. It's actually just sort of choosing one side and forcing everyone else to go with it. Finding middle ground is finding enough, giving enough of what both sides need and want, that they feel okay moving forward and can work together to move on. All right? So again, Say it one last time. It is really important that you make a habit of the other leadership habits and get good with those before you tackle this, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult. But again, these are the pieces that are involved, and we'll, as always, we'll dive a lot deeper into this and practice a lot of these different pieces when we get to it.